Hi, folks. Larry Rolla here. I'm going to do a little ranting tonight about one or two things. But before I start, I got up here late. I'll bring on Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Larry. Hello, everybody.
All right. I sent Anthony's not coming on. He has a party at his winery or whatever you call that thing.
The meadery.
The meadery. And I don't know where Eddie is. He's probably sleeping. I tried to get that race up that he sent me, but I couldn't get it up. I didn't. I guess I didn't try hard enough. I couldn't.
I hope Eddie or Ron come on, if not both of them.
Yeah, well, we'll wait a little while before I start my rant.
Your rant and your rave.
Yeah, I have to. It's better I start a little later because I'll calm down.
What's the matter? You fired up about something?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, no, nothing happened to me. Nothing happened to me. It's just that everybody tries so hard to fix honest racing, and they just keep they just like self destruction all every day. It's something else. I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to get into it. It's better.
I hate to say it, but it's a losing battle. It's a lot of negatives working against us.
Yeah, I know. It just gets me because some of these kids, they work so hard. It's such a tough game. It's a tough game. It's a dangerous game, and they just keep fucking with you. It just gets me. I can't help it. I just can't help it. And my that attitude that I have got me in a lot of trouble. I got in a lot of trouble, even though how much. Look, once you're barred for life, it makes no difference what you say or what you throw out the window. You're barred for life. I mean, there was nothing that they said.
Sucks.
If I would have had a cooler head, if I behaved myself more, but you gave me the life suspension before I did what I did. So anyway,
you didn't get a fair shake, Larry. That's for sure.
Well, let's go to some of these. Well, we'll see if Eddie comes on or if Ron comes on. In the meantime, we'll say hello to Jesse Black. Welcome, Larry, live. We'll say hello to Sundance.
Hello.
Hello, Eddie, Larry. Another Sundance. Another Sundance. Another Sundance. Hi, Ron. Always. Angelique. Hello, Larry.
Angelique.
And Joe. Eric. Larry, play that Jockey Club. I tried to get it up. Everybody who sent it to me sent it through. It's not on YouTube, and I can't get it up. That 3 people sent it to me, including Eddie, and the person who puts these things up for me said it's on Instagram or something like that, and they can't get it up from Instagram. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but they couldn't. I know Tom probably could have gotten it up, but Tom was not home, so I couldn't get it up. But that was something I wanted to put up and talk about it, especially if Eddie came on. But I don't have it. But what I do have, in fact, let me get down. Let me go down. So, Eric, I'm sorry, but maybe next week I'll get it up. Never seen a feature race that early on the card. Okay, Howard Lieberman. Harness racing is like walking up a down escalator.
There's Howard Liebman. I was looking for his number this week. Remember?
Yeah, Howard. Joe wants your number. I don't know what he wants it for, but I thought, Howard, I thought I had your number because I thought I sent you all that information about the cancer surgeon, the doctor. And when he called me for it, I looked all over. I don't have your number, and if I do have it, I lost it. So maybe you could text it to me. You have my. I'm sure you have my number. If you don't, it's 201-400-3485. Text me your number so I can give it to Joe. And I don't know what Joe wants, but you'll. I'm sure
It's nothing bad.
it's nothing bad.
Only could be good.
Okay, Angelique says hello to Eric. Jesse Black. Good evening, guys, and Angelique and Sundance. Oh, that was Steve.
Eddie
Oh,
and Ron, I know you're watching. Tune in. Come on.
Eric, that was the time slot that Fox offered. Okay. Okay. Question: have you guys watched the interview of the? I don't know what that word is.
Uh,
Otani
Otani Bookie.
Otani Bookie. I don't know what that is. Otani Bookie. No, I didn't. Well,
Is that the big guy with all the tattoos? I saw something on one of the shows about a bookmaker, but I don't know his name.
well, Eric, I didn't watch it. Okay, let's go.
Oh, I know what he's talking about. Yeah. The baseball player bookie for that
Oh,
superstar Chinese baseball
okay,
player.
yeah. No, I didn't.
Yeah, I watched it. It was very good. Yeah, that's the guy with the tattoos. He started taking action and end up getting some athletes and end up with this guy's bookkeeper or interpreter or something. And he put in millions of dollars worth of bets. And he swears that it was nothing to do with the ball player. It was the guy was the degenerate gambler, his bookkeeper and his interpreter, and had access to his accounts and bet millions and paid for a long time. Never had a problem. And then they started investigating him. Yeah, I saw it. It was interesting.
I didn't see it. I
Yeah, it
didn't.
was interesting.
Okay, Eric says, Larry, did you give my advice to Manny Cigars? Um, yes, I did. I believe I did. I believe I did. I haven't spoken to Manny in a couple of days. He called me the other day. I was busy with some people. I called him back, but he didn't answer. Okay, let's see. PM. Larry, I have heard you talk about everything in the horse business, but never heard you claiming any horses. Did you? Did you always have good condition of horses? PM, I think, let me see. I think PM, let me see if this is right. Okay. I think it was PM that sent me this because he has another name.
Let's just call him Prime Minister.
Well, I don't want to say his real name in case
Well,
he, you
Prime
know.
Minister ain't his real name.
So, but this is. Let's see. Where the hell is it now? This is what he sent me. Look at that. George Foreman, and here's what he said. George Foreman training for an upcoming fight against Joe Frazier, running with my father's 2-year-old racehorse in 1976.
Wow.
Old school cool. George Foreman, that was George Foreman. I think that was up in, let's see, maybe this one. George Foreman running on the training track at Roosevelt Raceway alongside Mel Samora.
Mel Samora. Yeah, that was Johnny Chapman's trainer.
Ronnie Chapman's second trainer
Yeah, I worked for him.
with the, yeah, I think
Only
you,
one problem.
right, yeah.
Foreman
So,
got the helmet on, and Mel Samora don't.
well, back then you didn't have to wear it. Remember
No, I
back?
know, but how come Foreman got it on?
I don't know.
He's wearing a helmet, isn't he?
No, that's just a cap. One of them.
Oh, okay. It looks like a helmet. All right. Mel Samora. He just passed away about a year ago.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's too bad. So anyway, that's the picture that I believe it's PM that sent me, and that's that. Now let me answer his question. His question is: I have heard you talk about everything in the horse business, but never heard you claiming any horses. Did you, or did you always have good conditional horses? I don't. Well, to tell you the truth is, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it really short. When I first got into the business and first got stalls at Roosevelt Raceway, um, Tommy Lucchese gave me $20,000. I immediately claimed four horses. That was the first time I ever claimed a horse in a business. Then I was doing well. I got that full page write up, and a lot of people. I was I don't know if you say overwhelmed, but I was trying. I was paying so much attention to my four horses because they were all broken down horses. They were all 4.34 claimers. I think one was 2,500, and I was doing very well with them. And it was an all day job, so I didn't have much time to look at anything, and I stayed with them sometimes all the way up till the night. And then I got, after the write up, I got a lot of people calling me up wanting to buy horses, and I started looking to claim some horses when I got to Yonkers. But then I got Tannenbaum threw me out of Yonkers, and then for the next 4 or 5 years, I was out of New York and all the Mickey Mouse racetracks, and I had the only horses I had were the horses that I owned, and so I wasn't claiming any. And then when I finally got back to, I think it was Freehold or Lincoln Downs, I started maybe claiming one or two, but I never claimed much. And then when I got real back in action in '78, uh, I don't think I claimed five horses, and I don't think I claimed. I don't know. I didn't claim many. I either bought them private or they were given to me. I didn't claim many. And when I got to Monticello, I couldn't claim from them guys up there. Everybody up there was fighting for their lives. And I'm going to get to the story that I'm going to rant about Monticello in a little while. But so to answer your question, no, I didn't claim many horses. Whatever I had, I took care of, and or was given to me, or I bought private. I just can't remember one horse that I claimed. I really don't.
And me, I'm the total opposite. I claimed thousands of horses. I mean, literally. A lot of owners gave me horses, but 90% of them, I picked them out and claimed them myself.
Even with the thoroughbreds, I claimed for Kelly Jones. I think I claimed 3 or 4 horses. I think that's the most horses I ever claimed in my life. But they were thoroughbreds. I can't remember one horse I claimed in the standardbreds. I don't know. Okay, so we'll go back to the comments and hopefully maybe Eddie will come aboard. Let's see where we were. A777. Did you ever meet Tony Ducks? No. No, I did not. Gary D. What's your thoughts on Sierra Leone big race Saturday, Larry and Joe? I don't want to comment on that because it was a a bad race, a screwed up race. I tried to get the film of that race up here, but I couldn't. It was just an unfortunate thing what happened, and it just goes to prove that it's a dangerous game out there, and it's not like driving a car with power steering. You may. Oh, here's Eddie. Hi, Ed. No, we lost him. He's going to come back on. Looks like he just woke up, or maybe he had one of them treatments again. I'll continue answering this question as soon as Eddie comes on, because I think Eddie might want to say something about it. Eddie might have went for one of his treatments today. I don't know. He looked a little. Let's see. Eddie entered. Here he is. What happened? What happened, Eddie? You sleeping?
Where am I? I can't get on the thing.
Wake up and go back to sleep.
We see you and we hear you. Tell me when you get set, because there's a question here that we're all three of us are going to answer. You better start taking them naps in the afternoon.
I ain't napping. I'm half mortal.
Would you go for one of them treatments today? Eddie froze. He froze. All right, let me tell you about Sierra Leone. It's just one of them unfortunate things, and it just proves that it's not like driving a car. A horse, first of all, the horse has a mind of his own. You could pull on the right line or the left line, and it don't necessarily mean they're going to go to where you want them to go. And if they do go that way, it may not be as fast as you want them to go that way. So it's a little different. That's why it's important that to me it is anyway, that the same driver or the same jockey ride the same horses or drive the same horse as much as possible. They just get to know all the idiosyncrasies about the horse, and because that's true. So, some horses you just touch the right line and they're turning right, and saying, some horses you just got to yank on them, and for whatever reason, and many times if the head pole's on tight, sometimes they'll lock along. Anyway, that's why it's important, I think, that the same driver or jockey ride the same horse, just to find out these little stupid things that certain horses
make
do.
a big difference.
Yeah. But that particular race with Sierra Leone, that poor jockey, I understand what the jockey on the outside was doing. He was just trying to get out of there quick and loop these horses, but he didn't, and he steered to the left, and then he just maybe oversteered, or maybe the horse just went over too fast or whatever. But anyway, it was a terrible thing. That you're watching the race, you just can't tell. You could see what happened, but you really can't say for sure why it happened. But I think he got stepped on by the horse he fell off of, and then he got stepped on again by Sierra Leone, and that was too bad. That poor Sierra Leone can't get a break.
Do you have the race, Larry? Do you have the race on?
I tried to get it up. I couldn't get it up. I should have been able to get it up. I don't know why. I don't have it up. I've been so busy the last couple of days, and a lot going on.
All right. No. Listen, I didn't even know anything happened. I work on the weekends. I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah, there was the outside horse came, shot out of the gate, come over. Geez, I wish I had the race. And Eddie sent me the race too, but I don't have it. I don't.
So there was an accident. In other words, somebody got trampled.
Well, what happened was, The outside horse shot out of the gate, come right over, tried to loop the field. He didn't. He got even with the, I don't know, the 3, 4, 5, whatever. There was a bunch of horses right there that left kind of evenly. And he just broadsided all of them. And the jockey on the one of them horses just got unseated. And he did some acrobatic stuff, man. He tried. He went bound from one horse to the other. He tried to get back on his horse, but, they're going 35, 40 miles an hour.
Not easy.
It was unbelievable what he did. It was unbelievable he didn't get stomped to death. I mean, he fell right underneath the horse, and I think the horse he fell off of, I think he got stepped on by him, his back legs, and then Sierra Leone went right over him. And that kind of so that's why I can't comment on Sierra Leone, because would Sierra Leone have won that race? In my opinion, I don't know how much momentum he lost by what happened, but I don't know. I can't comment, because it was just a bad race, and it'd be stupid for me to say anything else. He just got interfered with. He lost his momentum, and it was a miracle that jockey stayed on Sierra Leone. I mean, he ran right over the guy. So I was hoping Eddie would come on, and maybe he would comment.
He'll get on.
Okay, let's see. Steve, last week's podcast with Fred and Michael was outstanding. The picture behind Fred brought back so many memories of the best harness racing days that ever existed. Yes, you are right. You are right. And I personally want to thank all them people, all the sponsors that helped Freddie out, because it's not right that Freddie keeps doing these things. Not only going to Washington for the last 10 years, trying to save the harness racing game and doing a lot of good and talking with a lot of people, trying to get and he's still doing it. And then it was my idea just to ask the sponsors to pay the respect that they deserve for the guys that are still living in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I like it.
Yeah. And I hate to keep asking once a month and some of the donations were unbelievable. I don't want to mention it on the podcast, but you know who you are, and it's greatly appreciated. And Eddie's very, 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 very appreciative.
What?
All right. I don't know what happened.
There he is. You went to the beauty parlor.
No. No, I had my computer was all screwed up, so I had the phone, and I couldn't get on. And so now I fixed the computer, and now I'm here.
All right. Do you want to? You sent me that race, and you sent me all the shots. The area of view. I couldn't get it on because it come from Instagram. You said it come from YouTube. It come from Instagram, and I can't get it on. Now maybe my friend Tom could have got it on, but Shaman, who usually does it for me, couldn't get it on. So I don't have it. But Gary D wants to know your thoughts on Sierra Leone in that race. I gave my opinion. My opinion was no opinion because of the accident that happened, and that Sierra Leone stepped on that guy, lost all momentum, but probably would have been in the same place had the accident not happened. But I can't comment because it was just just unfortunate thing that happened.
Well, as far as the start and the mess that was created by the 7 horse on the outside, man, I'd never seen such athleticism on that kid Irad. I mean, he was iron cross between 2 horses. It was like unreal. It's just that he lucky he didn't get killed.
Yeah, he almost mounted back on his horse. He almost got back up on his horse.
Yes, he had his left hand on the right line, and he was grabbed on by I think Santana with White Ambrario, and he was half on that horse. I'm surprised he didn't fall off that white horse, that other guy. Holy crap. But anyway, with Sierra Leone, he had to swerve. He swerved them, grabbed the right line, and he pulled them to the outside, but he lost momentum. I don't know if he would have beat that horse because he did have a clear shot coming down the top of the stretch, and it got impeded, and I guess maybe, I mean, you can't say he could have won, he couldn't have won, but he finished second, and that's the way it ended, no matter what. I mean,
you can't speculate.
It was lucky. It was tragically lucky. It was a tragically thing that happened. Wow. I mean, it's.
All right, David Arthur says Larry said Sierra Leone wouldn't win Saturday, and he nailed it. Well, that's what I said, but I don't want to say any more because there was an accident in the race.
Yeah,
so.
you don't want it to happen.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I think it's ironic. Todd Pletcher had a hell of a day because the day before he had the Pacific $1 million race out with Furious. Is that the name of that horse? And it was ironic. Johnny Velasquez rode that horse in Del Mar, and when he broke the switch, he veered in, hit the rail. He almost fell off the horse, and he wound up winning the race. Then that incident happened at the the Jockey Gold Club, and his other horse gets up to win, and then his horse, it was on a 15 also eligible list that day, and he got drawn in, and he won that race. I mean, he had a lucky day, but see, strange things happens in horse racing.
That's for sure.
All right, PM Joe. When you claimed horses, did you ever tell the other trainer you were taking his horse? And have you ever gone to the barn in the morning to check the horse out you were claiming that night?
Most of the time I told him, unless I really didn't know them. But out of courtesy, I told him, I'm going to put a claimant on your horse. And just out of respect, if I didn't know the guy, I wouldn't say anything. As far as checking a horse out, there used to be a rule back in Roseville Raceway. I think that rule is long gone, that between either 11 and 12 or 12 and 1, you were allowed to look at the horse from outside the stall with the veterinary assistant would go. That guy, Mike, I think his last name was Dunbeck. He used to go with, he was Dr. Brennan's assistant, and you were allowed to look at the horse, but not touch him. And I think that only happened for a couple of meets, and then they stopped at that.
I know with the thoroughbreds, you can't go near the barn. You can't do that.
But the other trainer had to be there. It wasn't like you just go. You have to
go.
Yeah,
that was at Roosevelt. I remember that at Roosevelt.
Yeah.
When I put claims in, I always had the courtesy to tell the person, and and then the thoroughbreds can't even go to the receiving barn.
Unless they were creeps and they'd abused the horse, just to be spiteful. A lot of guys weren't horsemen. They were like just spiteful and took it the wrong way, but it's a business.
Did you ever have courtesy to tell somebody you were claiming the horse and then they scratched them?
No, but usually I would tell them when the horse is, already at the track, or I wouldn't tell them in a couple of days' notice. I would tell them the night of the claim.
Vito says, hello, guys. Moved to Hawaii July 4th. Well,
Hawaii 5-0.
Hawaii 5-0. Hope you're happy there, Vito.
Where in Hawaii, ask him.
All right, Vito. Eddie wants to know where in Hawaii. Why? Were you there, Eddie?
I lived there for 2 years.
Boy, oh boy.
Did you, Eddie?
Yeah, I lived on a street called Cohio. I used to walk down a street called Kalakaua Avenue to Diamond Head Mountain.
Oh, yeah,
And
like we all know about.
But
huh?
there's a lot of things I don't know about you. I thought I knew. I thought I knew you.
Nah, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. My book will be just as good as yours if I ever wrote one.
Well, hurry up.
I know a few Eddie stories.
All right. Jesse Black says Sierra Leone had to jump over Irad and was almost pulled up. He put in a tremendous effort on Sunday. Yes, he did.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I won't argue with Jesse Black anyway. So, but he's right. He's right. Fred Hudson, when Mel passed away, many people from our sport stepped up to help with the funeral arrangements, including his ex-wife, Sue Nutton, SOA of New York, Joe Ferraldo, and Chapman Staking, just to name a few. I don't understand that whole thing. When who's Mel?
Samora, Chapman's second trainer.
I got it. Okay, I'm putting it all together now. Yeah, that was So that's the guy that was in that picture. Yeah,
so it's a shame he died broke.
He did.
Chipping.
That's his game, boy. Everybody thinks
they
that.
all had help. Help at the funeral.
Unbelievable. Everybody thinks everybody in this game makes a lot of money. Most of these guys are in it because of the love of the animal, the love of the horse, and they just love the game. And I'm going to go on a little rant in a little while. I'm calmed down now. But
you, Larry, going to go on a rant?
I'm going to go on.
No, not you.
No. You sure?
Yeah, and a thing like this, well, what I just heard, this poor guy, Mel, he worked his ass off. He was the second trainer for Johnny Chapman.
Yeah,
out there 7 days a week, worked his ass off in all kinds of weather. It was unbelievable, and you die broke. You wind up living. It's terrible. And then the people in charge that fucked this whole game up never stopped fucking with you. And I'm going to get to that.
And they don't know a damn thing about racing.
Right. Okay. Eric, for Joe, Trump question. Have you noticed after Josh Honley proposed the $2,400 stimulus check, there has been no word about it since? I did see Republicans don't approve it. I don't know nothing about that.
All I could say is I think Trump has done more in 6.5, 7 months than any president done in their full term. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's done so far. And you guys who don't want to admit that, you're just never going to admit it. But he did a hell of a lot. He's doing what he said he was going to do.
All right, somebody's air conditioner is on, or radio, or something.
No, me. Hold on. Hushpet, you pain in the ass. There you go.
All right.
Yeah, now I got to sit here. Okay.
Sierra, Dave McKenna says Sierra doesn't win 2 in a row. Did it only once as a 3-year-old when Tyler was riding him. Makes money with his consistent late runs, though. Howard Liebman, Larry, I sent you my phone number for you. Okay. All right, I'll give it to you. Okay, thanks, Howard.
Thank you, Howard.
Okay, Sundance, Larry, I took care of a trotter for you. He was a black trotter, but I never knew his name. He was mean, but I got along fine with him. We were in the same barn as Bobby Del Campo. Okay, I remember Bobby Del Campo. I don't know the trotter you're talking about. And Bobby Del Campo was another guy who was an excellent driver, very, very talented. Whatever there was pertaining to sports, or he was just really good. I mean, he was a great pool player. He was really a good driver, but another guy that never really had a chance. Never, you know. And Bobby Del Campo was my partner with his owner when I started American Heritage Standardbred Sales Incorporated in 1986, I think, or 7, right after I got barred. Was it 86 or 7? Yeah, I think it was.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's when we raised $60.5 million in less than a month. I sent 5,000 brochures out to doctors, 5,000 lawyers, and 5,000 money management firms. And me and Bobby were getting ready to go to all the sales and everything to buy these horses for these people, and it was a management company. It was just like a syndication.
Now's the time to do it again with the new tax laws.
And and then we had everything ready to go, waiting for the sales, and we were going to get 10% of whatever we bought, whatever we sold, and whatever we had that were given. That we gave them. We were going to select the trainers, and then the commission with the state police come knocking on my door at the office, at the whole top floor, and they says I had to give all the money back because I was president of the company, and I was barred for life, and whatever I did, I had to give the money back, and they were going to arrest me for fraud or something. I had to give all the money back. Gave all the money back, closed up, and that was the end of that.
Because they went against you personally.
Yeah, they barred me for life, and I didn't have it. But I made a mistake. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been the president of the company. I should have just been. I shouldn't have been anywhere in sight on any paper. I should have just made Campo the head
you should
guy.
have been like Obama and put Biden up in front.
Right. Okay. Joe, in all those horses you did claim, did you almost ever get in any fist fights or lose any friends by taking these horses?
Fist fights, yes. But did I ever lose any friends? You know, it was such a routine thing for me. I mean, some weeks I would claim 15 horses. So people sort of knew that they had a shot of losing their horses because I was just looking for so many horses. So anything that I didn't have a class for, not too many in between, I would try to find something to fit that class that I didn't have. But never really anything bad. I mean, I had words with people, like, I'll give you an example, and I said it before. Mark Lancaster, everybody thought he was a great guy. To me, he's a phony fraud. And I'm going to say it because I approached him, and I said, Mark Lancaster. Did I say Mark Lancaster?
Yeah.
I said, Mark, listen, I'm going to claim your horse today. And he came up to me and he said, Joe, he says, that's my daughter's horse. She has that horse for so long, and it's a baby. And he called her over and he said, Kelly, he says, Joe is going to claim your horse today. Just let us know. And she broke out in tears crying. And I mean, like crying. And at that time, my daughter was her age. So she was really crying. I mean, like I said, I can't claim the horse off. I just couldn't. So I said, oh, calm down, honey. I said, calm down. I won't claim the horse, okay? I says, but you better move him up because somebody else is gonna. I says, I'll give you the pass. I won't claim the horse. And she hugged me and so happy. I appreciate it, Joe. I'll never forget it. And I didn't claim the horse. And I felt good about it. Next week, 2 weeks later, she claimed the horse off me and didn't say a word. Didn't say a word about it. Didn't come to me like I gave her the courtesy and claimed the horse off me like she forgot all about it. It was like 2 weeks apart. You know, things like that happen. Those things aggravate me. But as far as claiming, it's a business. and that's part of the business. And you know, you got to treat it as a business. But I try to be as fair as I could. We did have an agreement, like the top guys, Frank Hartline, Timmy Case, Carmine Fusco. We all made an agreement not to claim off each other because it would have been World War III, because we all had owners, we all had the money to claim horses. Everybody lost 10 horses a night. So we kept that agreement, and that worked out pretty good. And it
All
wasn't because we just wanted to, you know, not be at war with each other.
All right. Howard says, yeah, Howard, I got the text. I looked at it. Okay, Michael says, come on, Larry, all this talk about Sierra. You don't know the jockey is Pratt. Sundance. Larry, the black trotter had both tendons. So that's good. I still don't know who it is. All right, Ortiz is okay after getting stepped on. He's racing Thursday. Oh, that's good. That's good.
He's back. Yeah, he's back. Son of a gun. It's good.
Jesse Black, Sierra races available on Naira YouTube channel. Okay, well, I'll try to get it up again, even though we already talked about it. Jockey is fine. Plan on right. Yep. Okay. Answer. You're right, Larry. Sierra would have won by many. Jokingly was okay. Minor injuries Jockey was okay. Minor injury. Yeah. Howard Liebman. Goofy 5 Jockey Gold Cup. Robbie Davis kid. You thought tried, but caused a wreck. Ortiz got trampled. Miraculously, he's coming back to ride. Yep, good for him. He got lucky. Alan Davis, my eyes made a bad move. Sad, but is the best rider in the world. Great athlete. Okay. Larry, when I was young, I would go down to the rail at Roosevelt and watch the races, but in the stretch, I would turn around, not watch my horse, but look at the grandstand full of people. It was deafening. Yep.
It was great.
Yeah, it was great. Geordie. Wow, I wonder if that's Jordan Kaplan. Wow, Geordie. Larry, why the horse on the couch?
That picture you got behind you.
Yeah, because Sundance came to my house and she got that picture for me. So
that's nice.
I put it on there. What was I gonna do?
Looks like me.
Okay, Vito. What you understand that? We asked him where in Hawaii. It's WAI. What's that? I don't know what that is.
WAI? What?
Yeah.
Wait?
I don't know.
Hawaii is WAII.
No, but he said he moved to Hawaii in July 4th, and Eddie says, where in Hawaii? And that was his answer, WAI.
Why? In other words, like Hawaii. But Hawaii got 2 eyes at the end.
Anyway, Freddie Hudson. It used to be that you could look at a horse the day of a claim. I had many come over to examine the horse, and we were required to show the horse.
Right.
Okay, Vito. Q. All right. So now we got YAIQ.
YQ.
Waikiki?
Well, here. Joe, last time I seen you, I was with Ralph Moon, and you were in the hospital. I moved to Waikiki Beach.
Yeah, Waikiki Beach. Yeah, Wahoo. I know what that is.
Here you can't even play the lottery.
Vito. Is that Vito from the bar?
I don't know. He said last time he saw you last time I seen you, I was with Ralph Moon, and you were in the hospital.
I know Vito well. I haven't seen him in 100 years, but I did see him in. Yeah. That's little Vito from Yonkers. He used to hang out at the. He used
We
to
were
be a
just
runner for
talking
the
about him.
bookmaker. What?
Well, were we just talking about Vito?
No, not Vito Rubin. He was
Oh,
a
okay.
runner for one of the bookmakers we dealt with, and he was a regular at one of the bars we used to hang out. He's a good guy. We had a lot of fun.
Jeffrey B. Vito, wow. Wonder how long that will continue about no gambling at all. No casinos, nothing. That's crazy. Eric.
Yeah.
Eddie,
No.
the winner was fearsomely. I can't say the name. Johnny Valquez still in excellent shape. He's like 60 years old, ain't he?
Yeah.
I believe top two conditioned athletes are boxers and jockeys. You know, I had that conversation with a guy that's going to come on this podcast next week. And he said that the best conditioned athletes were hockey players. So
I would believe that.
You believe
it?
Hockey players, they're tough, man. They are tough people.
Well, I'll tell you, his son is. I was with him every day for about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months, and his son is an unbelievable hockey player, really, really good, and this guy's an unbelievable guy. He's a really nice guy, and it turned out that I did the wrong thing when I was with him. I should have advised him better, and I should have known better, but I made a mistake. And but this guy, he schooled his kid, he trained this kid, and he disciplined this kid, and it worked because this kid is great. I think he's up in Canada now. He's going to be a superstar. This kid. Anyway, this fella's going to be on the show. We're going to talk about a couple of things. I think next Wednesday we're going to do a show on next Wednesday. Yeah, he's a real good guy.
Do you remember the goalie for the Rangers, Gilles Villemure?
Yeah, he had horses, didn't he?
He drove and trained horses, and he used to hang out at that bar I was just talking about. And the bookmaker there asked him, he said, "Gilles, I'll give you 10 grand. Let a few slip by you," and he wouldn't do it. The bookmaker offered him money to throw a game, and he would not do it. He wanted to give him 10,000 right there, and he says, "No, I can't do it."
Howard Liebman, you were West Point Thoroughbreds at the time. Well, I was before. I believe West Point Thoroughbreds was very big, but I believe I was before them. I was in 84. I started this thing in 84 when I got barred. And I think it was 84, 85. Okay, Larry, where's the movie you life needs 2 movies? Well, that's the big thing they're going through right now. I have a meeting. In fact, this Thursday, I won't be doing a podcast. The podcast that I'm going to do Thursday with Freddie and and a special guest. We're finally going to get a woman on here, and I'll tell you about it. Well, it's going to be a special lady. We're going to do it Friday, not Thursday, and in fact, what I just did was I just printed out. Her name is Heather Vitale. I just printed out all her career and all her awards and accomplishments, and it's 2 pages, and it's very, very impressive.
Related to Carmine Vitale?
And I don't know. I mean, I know her, And I know Carmine. I don't know. I don't know. I should know, but I don't know. And I probably do know, but I forgot. I don't know. I haven't seen her in probably 40 years.
Is it Mike Vitale too?
I don't know. I don't know. It don't say here, so I don't know, but she's a beautiful girl. Very, very pretty. She'll be on. She'll be on the show, but we're not going to do it Thursday. We're going to do it Friday. And let me see. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to do it. Okay. Let's see. Big Bones, Larry, where's the movie Your Life? Oh, that's we just had that up. Well, I'm meeting. The reason I'm not doing a podcast Thursday is because I have a meeting in the city Thursday night, and it's a tough thing because it should be a TV series. There's so much material, and I have the screenplay written, but when you read the screenplay, there's a lot of stuff missing, a lot of really good stuff missing, and that's with 130 pages, which is a couple of hours, and plus 350 voiceovers. It got to be. Even Pileggi says it got to be a TV series, but now it's easier to do movies than get a TV series deal. So because it's easier, and because of my age, what am I going to wait another 5 years? I'd have to watch it from heaven or hell. So.
From what I talking to people, it's one of the most difficult things to make a movie. It's so time consuming and so.
And that's what I mean. It's going to take. It's going to take. Even if we started now, it'd take a year and a half before it gets anyplace. 2 years. You got to You got to do it. That's 3-4 months. Then you got to edit it, and then you got to. It's a process. So I don't know. All I do is keep going to meetings. Okay. Joe, in his prime, was winning races at 34%. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. That's our man Joe right there in the upper right-hand corner.
Thank you there, Howard. Yeah, I had a good run.
40%. Wow. Okay, Steve, very simple. If you don't want your horse to get claimed, don't put the horse in for a tag. But sometimes you have to, because many, many times, especially if he's racing in claimers and he's a decent enough horse to get claimed, that means he's winning races and making a lot of money. So if once you get out of claimers, you got to go in money earned. And if he has a lot of money earned, you're going to get buried. So a claimer is a claimer. That's where, and probably 70-80% of the races are claimers and should be claimers for that very reason. Because if you don't race in claimers, you got to go in condition. Condition means races won and money earned. And if he's a good claiming horse, he's going to have a lot of earnings and a lot of money earned.
A 10 claimer could be racing against the class below the open just because of earnings.
Yeah.
So it's not. And with claimers, you're your own race secretary. You put them wherever you want. No one got control over you. That's why I loved it. It was a strategic sort of game.
Yeah. All right. Question, Eddie. Why does Linda Rice scratch so many horses? Be careful now, Eddie. She's your friend.
Well, I really can't answer that because I'll plead the fifth.
Okay. Sundance says, Joanne, take Joanne out to dinner. I already answered that question, Sundance. Joanne's birthday is Friday. Friday, I'm doing a podcast. I got to tell you something, and you should know this, Sundance. I'm 85 years old. I never had one. I'll be 85 in October. I never had one birthday party in my whole life. I've been in a horse business almost my whole life, and when you're in a horse business and you're working 7 days a week, traveling all over the place, you don't even think of birthdays.
Yeah, just another day.
It's just another day. But if you're a regular person with a regular 9 to 5 job, all these little holidays mean something to a horse guy. It's just another day.
Hmm.
Okay, Francis. Hi, Angelique. Okay, PM. Larry taking care of Laurie Land Butler. He always got real. Larry taking care of Laurie Land Butler. He always got real sore in his hocks. We tried everything: paint, injections, and time off. Then Dr. Reed cut his jacks and got sound. Did you ever cut jack cords? Yes. Yeah, most of the time with trotters, if they just weren't using themselves right, it's a minor bullshit operation. It's no big deal. They make a little slit and then they just go in there and snip that cord.
It's like a little rubber band to cut.
Yeah, it's no big deal, but sometimes it bothers and hinders a horse. So I never did them on a pacer. I 1 or 2 on trotters, I think, because that's the first thing you try when you because it don't really it could hurt you, but it can't hurt you if you didn't need them to be cut. So you just cut them, especially. Most of the time, you can tell by the way they wear their shoes too, where they're sore, stifle, or hock. You could usually tell just by the way they wear their shoe. If most of the time, if it's a stifle, they wear the outside, the hock on the inside. If it's a jack cord, mostly at the toe. But you could usually tell. But yeah, I didn't do it much, but I did it once in a while. Okay, David, if you put your horse in a claiming race, expect he might be claimed. That's what I always did, and it never bothered me when somebody claimed my horse. I don't understand that. Well, some people fall in love with horses. I told you that story when Kelly Jones, she was new in the business, and the first horse I claimed for her, off of this guy Wolfington or something like that. And
Ross Wolfenden?
I think that was his name. No, I don't know if I claimed it off him or whatever. But anyway, I claimed a horse, and I think it was her first horse, and I think the horse win. Her father come down there and the horse win, and it was the first horse she ever had, and she fell in love with the horse. And I told her, this is a claiming game. We claimed him, expect to get claimed. Well, anyway, when the horse got claimed, she cried. She cried for days.
Yeah.
Cried. And then we went out to a restaurant one night. I told this story. I think I told her when she was on the podcast. She was on.
I remember.
And this guy, I think it was Wolfington, said he was sitting at another table with some owners, and we were sitting there, and she says, "That's the man that claimed my horse." And then the guy says out loud, they must have heard her say that. And I says, "Kelly, just calm down, relax." And then the guy started laughing, and he says to his owner, "Yeah, that's the girl whose horse we claimed. She's a little crybaby. She don't understand the business."
No,
and
that's definitely not Ross Wolfenden. He's a gentleman.
Well, I got up and I went over to the table, and I says, she started crying, and that's when that were in my younger days when I was stupid. I went over there, and I told this story before. I says, "You mention her name one more time, I'll put a fork right through your eye," or some stupid thing. I said, "Them are the things we do when we're young and stupid."
Yeah.
Vito, Joe, yes, Joe, Vito from the bar. Okay,
How are you, Vito? Hope you're doing well.
he's in Hawaii.
We had a lot of good years together. A lot of
Okay,
good years.
PM. Joe wasn't there. Vito, who did paddocks and warmed up every night. Joe wasn't there. Vito
It's
did.
Vito Rubin.
I don't know.
No, I was there. I was there almost every night, but Vito did warm up a lot of my horses.
Eddie,
Vito, you should come on the show, Vito. You could tell some stories. You remember the stories that I forgot. Why didn't you come on one night?
Well, Vito, if you want to come on, just let me know. Just let me know. I'll put it right on one of the comments here that you want to come on, and then I will give you my phone number and 201 400 3485. Just call me, and if I don't answer because you're not in my contacts, just text me and say that you're Vito, you want to come on, and I'll call you. Okay.
I still got the same number. You probably have it.
All right, you can call Joe.
Or, it don't matter either way, but it'd be good that you would remember a lot of stuff because you were in the thick of it, my friend.
All right, Vito, now we have to get you on. I hope they have internet out there, and they have us. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Francis.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Francis, Francis wants to know any good horses in Hawaii.
No, there used to be a racetrack about 50 years ago, and there's no gambling at all. Like Vito said, there's nothing there. The only thing they got is maybe card games, privately, big games. That's about it. That's the only gambling they got. There's nothing.
All right.
The best thing that came out of Hawaii was Tulsi Gabbard.
Huh?
The best thing that came out of Hawaii was Tulsi Gabbard. You know who she is?
No.
No. Oh, he's not a political guy. That's why you don't know.
Even Larry knows that.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
What was the thing with in Hawaii with Tom Selleck? What was that show?
Magnum PI.
Magnum PI. Wasn't that in Hawaii?
No, that was Hawaii 5-0, and that was with.
No, Hawaii 5-0 was Tom Selleck was in Hawaii with Magnum PI.
Oh yeah, that was Hawaii too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Vito Rubin was a very good horseman, excellent with identifying lameness.
Yes, he was. He worked for me for 35 years.
Okay. Francis wants to know, does anybody enter morning workouts?
Yeah, I work out, just getting up and going to the bathroom.
Yeah, same things.
What a cane.
I remember when I used to put my pants on, I put them on like in 2 seconds. Now I got to go up against the wall, put one leg up,
right,
then lean on the other wall to put the other leg up.
Right.
It takes me about 5 minutes just to put my pants.
And then when you get to the bathroom, you realize they're on backwards.
Get on the bed, Larry. Put them on. It's easier.
What?
Sit on the bed and put them on. It's easier.
Yeah, you're right. But then I'll never get out. It takes me too long to get out of bed. It's unbelievable. It's getting old. It's a bitch. All right, Sundance. Hockey players are extremely tough players. My favorite sport. I forgot the trainer who gave us tickets for the Rangers. I think it was Ron Keggy. Okay, Freddie Hudson. Heather is no relation to Carmine. Okay.
Okay.
Freddie is going to come on with Heather on Friday. Freddie, I looked up her accomplishments. There's 2 pages here of stuff that she did. I remember her when she was a little kid. I don't even know if she knows who I am. Okay, Francis, I have a couple of cousins played hockey. One Stanley Cup. Joe D'Amico, a hell of a tough referee. Okay, PM. Hey, Joe, did you know Gillis Vermeer used to be a bartender at that bar by Roosevelt called Footsie's? Wasn't he played?
Yeah, that's Jimmy Mitchell's brother's place. He was the stallman at Yonkers.
Yeah.
I used to go to Footsie's all the time, but I didn't know he was a bartender there. I used to go in mainly for lunch over there, not at night. So I don't know. But I didn't know that, no.
It says, Michael says, yes, she is Carmine's daughter. She does excellent work in the Delaware County. She is married to Jim King Jr. No, Jim King Jr. That was Elma. That's Elma Looney's daughter is married to Jim King. Elma Looney.
Yeah, Elma Looney.
All of them people, I just forget. But Elma Looney's daughter is married to Jim King, and
Yeah, I
maybe
think so.
I don't know. I don't know. Heather is Carmine Vitale's daughter. She does great work on harness racing. Her, mo- uh, her mother is married to Jim King. Okay,
Oh,
so she's the daughter. What you're saying, Michael, is she's the daughter, Elma Looney's daughter. Okay.
okay.
Sundance. Joe and Eddie tell Larry to take Joanne out to dinner for her birthday.
Larry,
Larry,
That ain't happening. I got to do a podcast.
you
you
don't
don't have
have
to
to
go that
take it
day.
on that day. You take a Saturday,
Saturday, I'm busy.
Sunday,
I'm busy.
bagels and
Uh-oh.
lox.
All right. Well,
Larry,
we'll
what do you think of the show Luck? Well, that show, because of that show, that's why. Well, it was okay, but they killed 4 horses in 7 episodes, and that's why now, whenever a movie producer hears about any kind of screenplay that has horses in it, they reject it right away because of a couple of things. First thing is you got to have veterinarians there. You got to have people from the board of health. You got to have people from the animal rights. You got to have all kinds of insurance and everything else. And
PETA, the ASPCA.
it's just a big hassle. And then they try to do live racing. It's impossible with thoroughbreds. Do you really think a thoroughbred race could go on with cameras on the infield, on the hub rail, on a car or 2 cars on the outside of the horses as they're going around? It'll never happen. They keep going sideways, and then the director says, "Cut, go again, again," and then after 2 or 3, because these are all broken down horses, retired racehorses that certain trainers train them for the movies, but they can't be going take after take after take. Okay, go to the 3/4 pole, start again. Go to the quarter pole, start again. And after 2 or 3 times, these things can't even walk. And then so it's. But anyway, I enjoyed Luck, but they canceled the show because too many horses were dying. Okay,
You know what that reminds me of? I forgot who it was. I'm
Freddie Hudson
training.
says no. Yes, Freddie Hudson says no. Heather is not Carmine's daughter. Okay, I'm not getting in the middle of that because I don't know. And
Got
Michael says Heather does get great work in Delaware Valley. Also, all harness race. Her mother is married to Jim King. I don't know. And Henry says agree. And Sundance says, Larry, do I always remember your birthday for 40 years? Yes, you do. Steve, I agree with you, Larry. What I meant was don't cry when they get claimed when you enter the horse. I've been in the claiming game for decades. Win some, lose some. Yeah, but I think I claim very few horses. I claimed 3 or 4 in a row for Kelly, and I never went up to the trainer because I didn't know none of them. I was new in Delaware and I didn't know anybody there, so I just put the claims in. But what Joe did is the right thing. You go up to the trainer and you say, I have an owner that wants to claim your horse, and that's the courtesy you give the guy, and that's probably the right way to do. But you just can't get around it. Claiming races are for horses to get claimed. Okay, let's see. Did you know Eddie Cobb? Knew him very well. Let's see. Joe, I hope your dad is doing well. We all hope he's doing well. He's home now. He's home with Joe.
He's home and he's happy to be home. And he's doing pretty good considering he's getting very tired, very easy. That's the only thing that's bothering us. He's exhausted to go from the living room to the bathroom. So we have to see a specialist this week, a vascular specialist. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
Howard says, do you remember how hot Stephen Bouchard was for a while? What happened?
I had an argument with Stefan Bouchard. He was a good guy. He lived across the street from me, and I told him, and Stefan, you're only the leading driver. When I was doing really well, he for 1 year after Dubé left, Dubé was doing a lot of my driving, and he came into the judge's office, and he said, "My name is Stefan Bouchard. I am here to take over for Dan Dubé." Just like that. So I spoke to Dan, and I said, "Dan, who's this guy Bouchard?" He's good, Joe. Give him some drives. I said, "Okay." So I gave him drives, and we did really good together. And a couple of times we had words because he didn't show appreciation sometimes for the amount of drives I gave him. And I said to him, I said, you know why you're the leading driver? I says, because you're driving horses for the leading trainer. And I says, by doing good on my horses, you're getting recognized. I mean, you just got here and you're getting other mounts, other drives. And he started arguing with me. He said, I would be leading driver no matter what. He got a little cocky. And then months later, after I was not leading trainer and Timmy Case sort of took over, he had the same argument. And Timmy was a lot more vocal than me. And he told him, without me, you wouldn't be fifth leading driver here. And he said, without the trainer, you wouldn't be the leading driver. And, he said it a little more nasty than I did. I said it in a nice way. But it's the truth. If you get on good horses, you look good, and it certainly helped his career. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right. Howard Liebman, Tulsi is great, military background.
All right, Howard.
Francis, two funny gentlemen. PM, Larry, any news on your movie or script? Yeah, I have these two big outfits in California looking at it now, and I'm going Thursday for another major outfit. But like I said, it's a whole lot easier to make a movie than to get on the TV. Years ago, it was a TV series was easier. Now it's not. And now, so I don't know.
Fox never panned out.
I told them to go fuck themselves.
Uh,
How many times you going to break an appointment? And I shouldn't have said that. You know why? Because they fired. After I said that, I found out that they fired 1,500 people or something like that, and everybody got like double the work and double the workload, and that's why they canceled two appointments that they had with me. But I said what I said. I did what I did. But who knows? Okay, Vito, you sure you don't want me to go to the grave with those stories? You had the best stories. Joe Kirby Puckett stories when they'll never forget. So now he put it on you. Do you really want him to come on and tell them stories?
yes, as long as they're said with respect, and could leave out some words we might have used back then. But
Vito says, I'll come on one night. You just got to understand it's a 6-hour difference here with 6 hours behind. Yeah, how the hell do you do that?
when are you moving? You're in Hawaii already?
Yeah, that's what he said. He moved July 4th.
Oh, he moved already.
Yeah.
Oh
Anyway,
man.
if you got my phone number, Vito, if you don't have Joe's and Joe says you might still have his, call Joe up and maybe we could work something out. I don't know. 6 hours behind. So that means behind. So that means it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon there, which would be okay. He could do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, we'll work it out. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm
Vito, I
sure.
don't have your number, but I'll call Larry and give him the number, and he can give it to you. Vito, text me. You got my phone number. Text me 201-400-3485. Because if you call and you're not in my contacts, I won't answer the phone. I get 300 phone calls a day. People wanting to extend the warranty I had on a car 2 years ago. Okay, Vito, the only gambling you have here is Asian underground clubs. Okay, stay away from them. Dave McKenna, Mr. DeLauro, are you looking at September 27th turf race for Mia Sophia?
She's on racing on September 11th in the fourth race on the
Okay,
turf with Castellano. I got 2 in on opening day at Aqueduct.
When's opening day, Ed?
9/11.
9/11.
Yeah. September 11th. Then I got 3 in on November 14th.
all right, we'll be talking about them. Vito, Joey, no better than the story than every week here in Sonny and Cher. I got you, babe, on the jukebox.
Yeah, I told that story once, maybe a couple of times.
Okay,
A
Freddie
lot of
Hudson.
money went through that bar on a Wednesday night.
Okay, Freddie Justice straightening a lot of stuff out here now. Joanne Looney, who's Elma Looney's daughter, is married to Jim King. Heather, I asked about her relationship with Carmine. She told me there is none, but we can ask her on Friday night. Okay. PM, Larry, I have watched 1,000 hockey games, but there is nothing tougher than rugby. No equipment and head-on collisions. You got to be nuts. Okay. Larry, did you believe Kurt Davis and Raymond Overcheck? Oh, I see. Did you believe in Kurt Davis and Raymond Overchecks for horses trying to get their head down? Well, I have mixed feelings about that because sometimes, and you got to pay attention, sometimes when the horse wants to have his head down, put his head down. But I mean, if you have to have it up for reasons that maybe to help him with his gait, or maybe help him with his breathing, or maybe help him with controlling him. So there's a million different reasons why you would try these things, but if they're very severe, if they want to get into it, they'll put that Crit Davis bit, that spoon in there, right through the roof of their mouth. You got to be careful, and when they're really bad like that, you're better off just putting some kind of overcheck that
Z-bit. The
that
Z-bit, right, Larry?
nosy bit. Just get,
That's all, Larry. You're better off going under their chin with something a little more
yeah,
severe.
and just put a four-ring overcheck on, and putting something like maybe I don't know. They have 3 or 4 different things that you could put on them that don't go in their mouth.
Right. You can put a piece of baling wire underneath the bit to go under their chin.
There's a lot of things that you could do, but the first thing that you could do, unless the horse is really a rank thing or for purposes of balance or something, just let him put his head down. Put the head down. Sometimes if you lower the head check just 2 or 3 holes, they'll just carry their head there and be perfect.
They'll be comfortable. Depends what the reason is, like you said.
Yeah. It all depends. So it's hard to answer a question like that. Some horses, like fillies, you don't ever want to put. Well, I shouldn't say it, but they have special bits. I forgot the name of that bit that was curved like this, because anyway, it's hard to answer a question about overchest because every horse is different. What would work? A Crit Davis, what would work on one horse, the other horse he wouldn't even, it wouldn't work.
My favorite overcheck bit was a Speedway. That was to me that was the best overcheck bit.
I try to put chin straps on
Under a Speedway.
Yeah.
See,
No, on anything, just the simple. But then a lot of horses you can't do that, especially back then. They weren't like, But yeah, every horse is different. Every mouth is different, and every horse acts different. You can have two horses that do the same exact thing, and the Crit Davis would work on one and not on
Right.
the other. So it's hard to answer them questions.
And they never sit right in their mouth. Never.
Yeah,
You
that's
know.
that's the other thing, and then you got to be careful too with make sure they. How many times they put a bit in a horse's mouth, or like a double bar crab, the horse that really leans in, and they had their wolf teeth taken out when they were 2 years old, but they broke off, and they still a piece of the wolf tooth in the gum that
Jagged, sharp.
and the bit rides right on it.
Touches it,
Horse
yeah.
goes completely nuts. And when that happens, instead of checking for wolf teeth that are broken off in the gum, they just get more severe and more severe rather than just
Yeah, find the reason.
yeah. Anyway, the bottom line is every horse is different. Every bit, what works on one won't work on another. So, okay, PM Joe, here's a test. If you still have all your equipment, still you're going to get back in business. If you sold it, then the jury's out. Joe's
I
not.
don't have my equipment. All I have is my colors, my helmet, and that's about it. The equipment I have is dry rotted, I'm sure.
Okay, Freddie Hudson says Joe is 100% correct. Driving for the top trainers makes the driver look good. Absolutely. Hockey and soccer. I would rather watch paint dry. Two sports back and forth. Nobody's scoring. Yeah, well, I don't watch sports.
Hockey's exciting though. Come on.
Mike, Walter Case, 978 wins at Yonkers Raceway in 1998, 46 win percentage. Okay. Well, Larry, I got your number. I'll give you a call tomorrow, and I'll leave you my number, and then you give it to Joe, have him call me, and I'll discuss what we could talk about. Okay. Text me the number, Vito. Don't call me. Text me.
Okay, Vito, sounds good.
Michael, Larry, Joe, and Eddie. Oh. Walter Case, 1998, was like Steve Colton, 1978. Cordero's ride on both. Yeah, well. How Walter Case had a Steve Cawthon 1978 type year. Oh, had a Steve Cawthon 1978 type year in 1998. And Ortiz Jr. reminds me of Cordero. Takes some risk, and like Herv to me was the best ever. I'll take Cordero fire in a big race. Okay, now that's the end of the comments. So now I can go into my rant. And I'm cooled down, so I'm going to be nice about it. There's a kid. There's a kid. Races up in Monticello. His name is Dan Rawlings. And on August 7th, now Dan Rawlings, he's one of the leading drivers up there. I mean, the guy wins 1 out of 5 races. Training, he wins 1 out of 4 races. That's unbelievable. He's one of the leading drivers in Monticello, and I watched. When I heard this today, I went back and I watched a lot of the races he was in. He's an excellent, excellent driver. I called up a couple of people in Monticello to see what kind of guy he was, and they all said he was a really nice guy. Very, very good driver. Well, here's what they did to Dan, and the best, and this is what gets me. Here's one of the leading drivers up there. So far this year, he had 525 starts. Now just keep this in mind. This is getting up because he has a stable of horses too, and most of the horses he drives. Well, some of the horses he drives, catch drives, but most of them are his own stable. So he's up every morning, regardless of the weather, and he's out there training, and then he's racing every night or every afternoon whenever Monticello races. 7 days a week, he's out there. He's working 7-day-a-week job. He's one of the leading guys so far this year, and we're near the end of the year. He won 96 races out of 500. That's 1 out of 5.
It's almost 20%.
Yeah, and he won right around $450,000. So that means, and that's bullshit money. That's bullshit money, because even if he gets the full 10%, he made $40,000 for the year, working 7 days a week. Okay? Now here's what they did to this kid, and he's an excellent driver. They're short of drivers up there. They're short of horses up there, and here's what they did. Now I have the judges' names. I have the judges' names of the judges up there, but I can't blame the judges because the rules were made by the New York State Racing Commission. Well, here's what they did to this kid. And I watched these races, and that's what gets me fucking nuts. I watched these 2 races. He raced a horse on August 7th, and the horse's name was Some Party Somewhere. Horse finished second. He just got beat. He was coming. In the last 20 feet of the race, when he got clear, he had his hands in the handholds, just like this, and it went like this. Just these little flooded things, just like rapid fire. Bah, 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 bah. All they do is keep the horse's attention. They don't. You can't hurt a horse like this. But he did that more than the rule says. And the rule says you can't hit a horse more than 6 or 7. All that fucking bullshit. You can't hit a horse more than 7 times. Okay. So because he went like this, rapid fire, charging to get the lead to win the race, charging. Now, just think, if he would have just sat there and went 1, 2, 3, they would have called him in for lack of effort, or the crowd would have started booing, because he was coming at the guy, and he just did this, just like this.
That's not hitting a horse.
No, I know, but well, here's what they did just for that one race. I watched the race 15 times, and he hit it rapid fire so much I couldn't even tell how many times he hit him. Yeah. But it was probably 7 or 8 times. But like this, right? Just charging at him. Okay. Right. So now for that race, they fined him $4,000 and gave him a 60-day suspension. Can you imagine that? Now, a week later, he's in August 11th. He has another horse in called Icarus Falls End, something like that. And same exact thing. Coming down the stretch, he finally gets out. He's charging, and just like this. Not whipping, not lashing, just like, all right? And you know what they did for that? They fined him $8,000, and they gave him 120 days. So for them two races, and I will say this, if he didn't do that, they very easily could have got him for lack of effort. Very easily the crowd could have started booing and say he never tried, he never hit the horse, he never did nothing. So these are the things that happen. But aside from all of that, when you're in a race, the only especially a guy that's dedicated to this business like this kid is, because they say he's a good kid, and you're in a race and the finish line is 50 feet ahead of you, and you just get out of a hole and you come charging, you just keep the horse just like this, just little flitters. Come on, just like that. Okay? And if you don't do that, they can get him for lack of effort. They can get him for anything. It's just such a fucking bullshit rule.
What judge is this? What judge is this?
Here's the thing. The judges, I have the judge's name, and I was going to come down on the judges, but then I start thinking about it, and I read the rule, and the rule is, and they have to abide by the rule. Because what's going to happen if they don't abide by the rule and somebody else gets charged for really slashing one? It's the same rule. Anyway. Anyway, in them 2 races, he got fined a total of $12,000. Here's the kid that this year, if he's lucky, he's going to make $40,000.
That's 40% of his income.
Yeah. If he's lucky, he's going to make $40,000 for the year. And with that $40,000, he got to support himself, his family. How do you do that? How do you do that with $40,000 and work 7 days a week and risk your life out there? And then they want to fuck at you with this fucking bullshit nonsense. Yeah. Anyway, here's what the rule is. This. Oh, and then I forgot to tell you the best part. Then he paid the fine when he went. Well, he's fighting it. August 30th, they suspended his license. They denied him a license. They won't give him a license. And here's the reason. This denial is based on a pattern of conduct related to improper, excessive, indiscriminate, injurious, abusive, and unnecessary use of the whip on equine athletes during a harness race at racetracks in New York. Unbelievable. They call that. Now listen to this. They call that unnecessary use of a whip on equine athletes. That they abuse the horse. Now, I can't get too much into it, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going up to the New York State Racing Commission pretty soon for what the thing that I'm inventing. And if they don't approve this, then what the fuck are they doing? What do they mean? Because their whole thing is no abuse at all. And I agree with that, no abuse to the horse. But abuse and bullshit is bullshit. And what they got this kid for is bullshit. And because he did these little feather things, they want to put this kid right out of business. Now, number one, they're short of drivers up there. Number two, they're short of horses up there. Number three, they're short of good. He's a good driver. I watched a lot of his other races. He's a really good driver, and he has a good reputation as a good driver up there. And now that they're taking this kid's livelihood, you know why it gets me? Because the same thing happened to me with Tannenbaum. They take this kid who dedicated his life to this. They're fucking with him with a bullshit rule. And the judges up there, these judges that are up there that called him in, I know that there's a rule out there about 7 horses. And I know that if they don't call him in, if somebody really abuses the rule 2 weeks from now, they're going to use this. Well, you didn't call him in for this. And, well, so they have to do what Heisa does. Just play tough love. Fuck you. You use the whip. I don't care if you feathered it, if you fanned yourself. If I see that whip going up and down more than 7 times, whether it's a lash or just floating in the breeze.
No. It's like a check swing in baseball. There got to be a definition of what hitting a horse is. It can't be that little feather tap, 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 tap. You have to come back and bend your elbow or something. It can't be a rule like that.
And if I would have had time today, I would have put that race up.
They're taking 30% of his income and they're putting him out of business for 6 months.
They put him out. No, now they won't give him a license.
Yeah, now they don't want to give him a license.
Yeah.
Where's these lawyers like Joe Feraldo or one of these horseman lawyers to represent him? Step in and say, hey.
Well, from what I understand, because I was going to call him up and ask him to be on the show, but when I called Monticello, some friends I have up there, they said that I don't think he can come on because he already has an attorney. He's fighting them and suing them, rightfully so. And I have to tell you, and I don't know if he'll ever hear this podcast or not, but if he needs me as a witness, if he needs me as a professional witness that's been through all of this shit, that's been driving horses for 60 years and seen slashes and know what the commission. I know what the commission rule is, and I must interpret it different because what you said, Joe, is what the judges who are at the racetrack should understand, that this is not what the rule meant. That
Right.
That's
this
like
is bullshit.
it's like the thoroughbred racing. Now you're only allowed to hit a horse a certain amount of time. Granted, that's whipping them. But when they're hand riding and they're scrubbing, they're crapping them and they're hitting them on the shoulder. That's the same thing the kid was fluttering on the back of the horse. He ain't whipping or slashing. When
No.
you know, Larry, you sit back and you put the lines of one hand and you reef and you hit the shaft or you hit the hub or you hit the horse's ass.
I wonder what they would do. I wonder what they would do, because a lot of guys do this when they're holding the hand. You can't see me on the thing. Flip the whip this way, and the whip hits the wheel disc, and it makes a lot of noise. A lot of guys do that. They just what if you do this all the way down the stretch 20 times? Is that excessive use of the whip, or you have to hit the horse?
I think you have to hit the horse.
You're hitting the wheel disc or whatever. I mean, not a disc.
Because for the most part, keeping the whip right under your arm, just keeping the whip under your arm and going like this and making the whip hit the wheel disc, that's going to make a noise like a firecracker.
Yeah.
That will get one really, really awake. But if you do it more than 7 times, is that considered, or you have to, it has to be hitting the horse, because they always say abuse to the animal. Now, you want to talk about abuse to the animal? How about when you make these poor things race in the fucking mud? How about when you make these things race in the fucking ice, in the snow? As long as years ago, I remember, I even made a comment once to I won't mention his name, but I says, how could they make these horses race like that? It's fucking 10 below zero out. The wind is blowing like crazy. It's bad. And you know what he says? If the people are in the grandstand, in other words, if it happens at like right around the 5th race and the people are already in the grandstands, they're going. They don't give a fuck. They don't get. And I looked it up 40, 50 years ago. I think a horse could withstand temperatures of 10 below zero. I think. I shouldn't say that because I'm not sure, but I think a horse, as long as the temperature is right around 0 degrees, a horse could race without doing too much damage. I'm not sure if that's right, but that's the number that comes into my head. But you want to talk about these little flutters, abuse of the horse? Why don't you bank the fucking turns? Why don't you do the right job on the racetrack? Every racetrack has a different surface. Every horseman, every jockey complains about the surfaces on the racetracks and about the weather conditions on the track. Why don't you do the right thing and have a unified rule for the treatment of drugs? Why do you have to have a horse that maybe needs say Lasix? He's racing in New York, he has Lasix. Then all of a sudden he has $1 million race in another state that you can't use Lasix. Is that fair?
No.
All right. Now, how about this? How about I could show you, and I have all documentation, I could show you, you're talking about abuse of a horse. What do you think hurts a horse more? These little flutters or 5 cc's of Lasix? I'll tell you. 5
cc's of Lasix.
Yeah. And in Heisa with the thoroughbreds, they put $400,000, $380,000, and having a 2-year study with all of these to find the effects of Lasix. And I told that Lisa, the head of Heisa, you don't have to spend it. Just give me $10,000, and I'll come to your office and I'll show you. And it's going to be part of my presentation to the Jockey Club, to the USTA, to New York State Racing Commission when I put this thing together that I've been working on that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
But what's the rule? What's it considered to hit a horse? What is the standards?
7 times you can't hit a horse.
Eddie, I'm not talking about how hard you hit them. I'm talking about what makes it considered a whipping. You have to cock your elbow and come back and forward. You can't go like this to keep a horse's attention. You know, pop, pop, pop. We do that all the time.
Yeah, that's
nothing.
Just feathering the horse. That's
all you're doing is keeping them alert.
Yeah, you know, keeping them interested. Yeah,
that's not hitting a horse.
Well, here's what they.
What judge is going to stand up for that?
Here's
can't be a judge that raced.
Here's the ruling. The ruling is improper, excessive, indiscriminate, injurious, abusive, and unnecessarily use of the whip on equine athletes. All them words on equine.
That don't fit that bill.
No,
not at all.
Not feathering a horse's back end. No. That's ridiculous.
Well, I only hope that
he'll beat this case. He will.
He should.
Heisa ruined the fucking game. Heisa destroyed the game. Everything, all their rules, they changing rules every day that we don't know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to do it. Because if you do something right away, you're getting suspended, you're getting blood tests, you're getting this. If you are on a run, if you win 2-3 races, they're in your barn the following day to check your horses out. They take blood, hair follicles.
Yeah.
Because you're on a roll. They'd rather see you race and don't make no money than for you to win 4 or 5 races and they come and investigate.
First of all, what they're supposed to do is all the drivers are supposed to get together and say, we're not racing. We're not racing. Set the rules straight.
There's no unification in the game.
They got to be, because it could be them next week. They got to stick together and say, we're not racing. It's unfair what you did to this guy. And who are the judges?
Well, look at this guy that racetrack. I get on his jockey. He was in a stake race. He was riding, coming down the stretch, him and his girlfriend. And I don't know what he did, but they said that he let his girlfriend win. They gave him a 2-year suspension. Oh, my God, what they crucified him. Yeah, they just are destroying the game.
That's a little different than this.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
You know,
but as far as excessive cruelty and whipping, what about the cruelty up in Saratoga? They euthanized 15 horses. There's cruelty. There you go. Is it the track? Is it the horse? Is it the trainer? Is it the jockey? Is it who it is? But I'm just saying they destroyed the game. They have a veterinarian. I got a tape. I was going to send it to Larry. That how to get a horse inspected by the state vet before race day. Well, this guy says that my vets go into the barn of the trainer. First, they go into the stall and they check the horse's temperature. I ain't seen a thermometer in one of those vets' hands in 10 years. Then we take the stethoscope, we check their heartbeat, their heart rate, and then we check for soundness. And then we take them out and we run them up and down the stall. We flex their ankles. They do this. We touch the back. They don't even go near the back. It's all a crock of bullshit and lies. And I don't care who hears this or not.
How do you put up with it? How do you put up with it?
Because I love the game. I love the horses.
No, I'm just saying, how do they put up with it? These people are making rules that never sat behind a horse.
There's guys that got positives. They're on the board of Heisa. How could you fucking do that? How could you put these trainers on the board and you come up with positive? And the same shit that Baffin got caught with. And you're on the board. And money talks, bullshit walks. And that's the whole lifestyle of this game. You got money, you get away with murder. So I love the game. I enjoy it. I can't wait.
We all love the game. We all love the game, but people like this are ruining it.
Nah, you can't.
You rip a guy's heart out. The guy's trying his best.
This poor kid, he probably is so beside himself, he don't know where to turn.
He's. I mean, I said it's 30%, not 40%, but 30%, and they're not racing after paying that fine.
Yeah. Well, so how much more are you going to be stuck?
How do you recuperate racing in Monticello?
Yeah.
You got to race for 3 years to break even.
Fucking that's all bullshit. I just don't understand it.
You
I
you
really
got to
don't.
get rid of people like that in the business.
Boy,
Whoever makes these,
I have so much. I have so much that I could say. I'll just say a little bit. Just say a little bit. No, I better not because I'll give it away. I'll give it away what I'm doing. I don't want to get into
don't
it.
make no enemies before you have your meeting.
No, don't give it away, Larry. Keep it hush. We'll be all right. Just tiptoe through the garden.
But
Through the tulips.
their whole thing, the whole thing, the racetracks, the owners of the racetracks are worried about the betting public. The racing commissions are worrying about the horse. And
they're not worried about nothing except their paycheck.
No, and I could name if an undesirable character was in my barn, I would be suspended and thrown off the grounds. Yet I could name 5, 6 guys in every mafia crew that were at Aqueduct and Belmont and Yonkers and Roosevelt every single day, probably combined maybe 30, 40 guys every single day.
Sure.
They never lost their license. Okay.
Sure.
I could the racetracks as far as the well-being of the horse, the racetracks have their own rule that when the temperature and the humidity get to be, I think the number is, I think it might be like 85 degrees and humidity 70 degrees. When you add up that number and it comes to 140, racing has to stop. It's serious detrimental to the horse. They could die. They can get heat stroke within within a minute and a half. You ever see a fucking racetrack close because it was hot? So they have it's all fucking bullshit. They're worrying about a guy feathering a horse like this, and yet they're letting them race in California and in Florida at 90-degree weather, 70-degree humidity. That's basically a death sentence. And
they're hypocrites. They're a bunch of hypocrites.
I have proof that a lot of these horses that died of heart attacks didn't die just because of drugs. They died because of heat. Hearts just exploded. The temperature, the core body temperature gets to the point where it's 105, 106 degrees. All the organs start to fail. The heart starts pumping overtime to try to get blood to the area, and they can't. And the only way they could release the heat is through sweat. And when it's humid, the humidity holds everything down, and they can't sweat. And then they bring the fucking horse back to the barn, back to the winner's circle, or back to unsaddle him, and they hose them off. And when you hose them off, and that's like a rule. That's why they put the hoses out there. But what they don't know is that when you hose a hot horse off, that water has to be scraped off immediately, or it holds the heat in. And then they put these fucking blankets on them for after a steak race or something, which completely holds all the heat in. Right. And the heat rises 2 to 3 minutes after the race is over. So sometimes them temperatures get to be 106, 107, and everything starts to stop. And
like steaming a lobster.
Why ain't the commissions? Why ain't HISA trying to figure out that? I am. And that's. See, I said too much already, but I am.
They don't care, Larry. They don't care about the horses. They don't care about the people.
Anyway, I said too much already.
Any more comments? Go ahead.
All right, more comments. Let's go here. I forgot where I left off. Okay, someone bought. Okay, Freddie Hudson says, Okay, someone just brought up Walter Case. Compare him with what took place at Monticello. Back then, if this rule was in effect back then, there'd be no drivers in harness racing.
Oh, forget it.
Not one. There wouldn't be one. Not one. I don't care if you go to Stanley Dancer, there wouldn't be one. Billy Houghton, there wouldn't be nobody. Everybody would be fine. And I got news for you. When you're racing for $1 million or $2 million, they had back in 1978, 79, 80, they had 12 races at the Meadowlands for over $1 million. You're going to tell somebody you can't hit a horse more than 7 times? And 90% of the times they were hitting the shaft or the saddle pad. When you're hitting a horse with the whip, most of the time that snapper is hitting the saddle pad, and you aim for that. That's what makes that noise.
Right.
If you think that just beating on a horse's rump, you don't see horses come back anymore with welts on them. Years ago you did, but today you don't.
Yeah, it's the noise.
Anyway, let's go. Any of you guys see the Seabiscuit movie? Yes, I did. Weren't the live racing scenes that they tried to do, they were disgusting. They were terrible. They shouldn't try to do live racing scenes with thoroughbreds. Now, a standardbred race, you could do it, because in a standardbred race, you could mount the camera right on or have a horse. Now that they don't have a hub rail, you could have a car right on the inside of the pylons with 15 cameras on it. And then you can have one right on the outside of the field, in the middle of the racetrack. Have 2 cars there with cameras on, and these horses will go right by. Right.
Well, now they got the drone, Larry. They have the drone that goes around the track. That's why the ones I sent you has the overhead camera. That's a drone now. You have cameras. That's how they get it all.
Right, but I'm talking about the Seabiscuit movie and why they try to make these. You can't do a live racing scene with a thoroughbred in the years that they were doing, the years with Luck and the years with Seabiscuit. And I think it was Joe Rocco Jr., who used to ride for me in Delaware. He was one of the jockeys that they took from Delaware. They took a bunch of jockeys from Delaware to make that movie. And they come back and say, what a fucking joke this was. Take after take after take. These poor horses were breaking down. Oh, no, you got to get that 3 horse to come in late and everything. We got to do it again. They back up to the quarter pole and they go again. After 2 times, these poor horses couldn't even walk. They used 101 horses in that movie just to get a couple of 1 or 2 racing scenes. It's a fucking joke because they don't know what they're doing. Anyway, and that's the problem I had in the beginning. Till I eliminated all live racing scenes. I said, there's going to be no live racing scenes. Who needs live racing scenes? If I got to show 1 or 2 races that really mean a lot pertaining to the story, we'll buy the film of the race.
And we'll get a rerun of anything
on television. And we'll write the script based on the numbers. We'll find a race that has the horses just the way we want them. Anyway. Okay, let's go. Francis. 10%. I don't know what that means.
That's the juice. That's the juice.
Juice, 10%. God. I remember when okay, Mike. In 1998, Walter Case had a total of 2,993 starts and 1,000 wins. Incredible percentage. Yes, it was. Rawlings got a raw deal. Yes, he did. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if anybody get a message to him. If he ever needs me, even though I'd be the worst fucking guy to go up there because of my past history, but as far as my knowledge of the game and everything else, if he needs me to testify as a professional guy who knows what it's like out there, he can call me. I'd be my pleasure to go up there.
Yeah, only problem, Larry, you had no use for a whip.
Right. 99% of my races, I didn't need a whip.
The last thing you needed was a whip.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Right. And the races that I had to win, the months that I did it, that thing with Nicky Barnes, when he was able to get 5,000 a position, I had to win a race. There was no fixing races, no nothing. I had to win. because we were betting 5,000 win, 5,000 place, 5,000 show. And it was great because sometimes I'd get a show price in Monticello. I'd send my guys out and say, here, go bet 200 on this horse, because the handle was nothing up there.
Right.
I'd make 10-1 shots, the favorites, and my horse that we were betting the show, with the prices would go up and keep going up and up.
$5 to show.
Yeah, and so you got $5,000, and the show price is $5. The place price is $9, and the win price is $16, and you got $5,000 a position. So, and I split that with Nicky Bonds, but I had it. That's when the horse switching and all of that stuff came into play, because I just, so in other words, I took let's just say a 3,000 claiming race. And I took 20,
all different shades of shoe polish.
Yeah,
white markings.
Just switched, put a good horse in the cheap horse, and just bet away. Okay, seeing stories like that, they'd be very, very interesting. How I did it, how I got away with it, and
yeah.
And a lot of these stories are going to be left out if it's a movie. I mean, you can only put so many things in a movie, because there's 5 or 6 other stories that are just as exciting as that story that have never been done before. But the TV series would have been perfect. That'd be perfect. Okay, Eddie, I went to school with Gary Contessa. He lived a few blocks from me. He used to be unbeatable when he had winning move stable. I know he left the business. Did he ever come back?
He's got a big stable in Laurel, Maryland.
He left New York, Gary Contessa?
Yeah, when he raced in Saratoga this meet, he did okay. He didn't win, but he raced a lot of horses. He's got a big stable in Laurel. Yeah.
You know, one thing I learned, and actually I've been in both businesses. I've been in both back stretches. I've been involved with thoroughbred trainers and standardbred trainers. Most of the thoroughbred trainers, I said most, are the Gary Contessa's type. They show up like attorneys. They speak like attorneys. And
they bullshit like attorneys.
And in standardbreds, the leading guys, they talk like regular street guys, just like regular horsemen that work their ass off, that know what the fuck they're doing and how to rig up a horse, how to condition a horse, and how to get a horse ready, and how to spot lameness, recognize lameness, and treat lameness, and keep a horse happy in both body and mind. And now I don't ever, in 70 years, 65 years, I never saw a standardbred trainer show up in a suit or a sport jacket. Never at the barn. Never, ever. I never saw. In the thoroughbred game, 90% of them show up with sport jackets, this or that. It's just a joke.
It's suit and tie trainers. Yeah.
Yeah. And you always say this. You ever see dirt on their knees? That's all you see in the standardbred game. They wear the pants years ago before dungarees became famous. They used to wear them brown Western pants. All you see is dirt on their knees. They're always bending down, looking, helping, doing something, figuring something out.
That's the piss stains. That's it.
Okay.
Hoof grease and poultice.
I listened to Gary Contessa has a bunch of things on the podcast.
Yeah, I see it. I seen it. All the bullshit. Yeah.
It gets you sick. You know, it just gets you sick. You got to listen to it. Gets you sick.
And when he talks about the epiglottis and all that shit, he makes like the hand like this, and yes. If it goes this way, it closes. If it
yeah, I know. I seen him. I was unbelievable. Larry, what type of car racing were you into? My dad had live TV sports show in the 70s in Poconos, I got to meet Mario Andretti and Al Unser. That's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I wanted to get to that point, but I never did. I was 14 years old. I built my first stock car. In fact, I went blind welding when I was, I think, 10 years old. When I was building a go-kart, my first go-kart with a lawnmower engine. And then I got to be 14, 13, 14. I built the stock car, and I built my first stock car, and I raced at Freeport with the stock car. And then I found out they were drag racing at
Iceland.
West Hampton.
Oh, what's
I
that?
used to go there every Sunday, and I had a
Right.
32 Ford Roadster, and it was 1955 because Chevrolet came out with their first V8 engine in 1955. It was 100. It was 300. Let's see, just if I can remember, 100. Oh, I forgot. I used to know it. It was a V8 engine. It was 550 pounds, and I forgot how many horsepower, but it was fast. And I put a 55 Chevy engine in my 32 Ford Roadster, and they classified it B Roadster, West Hampton, and I won the trophy every week. And then I built a dragster, and I put a big Chrysler engine in the dragster with a blower supercharger, and it was around that time when I got the job in a gas station, and that's when I met Mike Foley, and that's when I left that.
You
Because
switched.
I switched because I couldn't compete. I mean, I needed slicks for the dragster. You blow a tire or you need new slicks. The things cost $200-300.
Yeah,
Then
back then.
you need a supercharger. You know, back then you used to rob gas stations. You get $20. You know, I needed. So I was.
Larry,
What?
I remember those commercials they had on for funny cars in Long Island. What was funny cars? What were
They fun. I never got into that, but funny cars were like a full body car with these big, powerful engines in them, and it was just a car that was covered that was supercharged, had big engines. They called them funny cars, but that was way after me. But
Yeah. I remember they used to have those commercials on
yeah,
TV.
yeah, they go like 130 miles an hour in 8 seconds or something like
The
that.
ones with the parachutes on the back to stop them, you mean?
No, they were the drags. Yeah, some of the funny cars that you don't have a 100 miles to stop. You got as
Yeah.
soon as you hit the starting line, the finish line, you pull the cord.
Yeah.
You need help. You need
Yeah,
help.
that was an ice slip. I used to go there.
Yeah.
Then Riverhead had a Riverhead Raceway.
I love that. I love the action. I just couldn't even in the Roadster. I had a Thunderbird transmission. And you blow a clutch. It's speed shifting. They say, well, you can shift without using the clutch. You watch the tachometer. Who the fuck watches the tachometer? You just go. I go by sound.
Yeah.
And if you miss a gear, you blow the transmission.
Did you have a hearse? Did you have a hearse 5-speed?
No,
4-speed?
no. I had a Thunderbird. Let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. No, 4-speed.
Yeah, 4-speed hearse. Those
I,
heads, the big floor on the floor.
all I remember is that I kept trying to change the rear end
You had a
because
Aussie rear.
I tried. I kept from a 411. I went to a 350. I hope I got these numbers right. What I tried to do is I tried to shift as least as possible. And I try to figure out the right gear ratio to get to the quarter of a mile in second gear, wind out in second gear. And I could do that, but I'd get off the line so slow that, it was, so I had to go, the least I could do was 3. I'd be able to get off the line good, switch to second, and then third was, just a slam down.
So you had more bottom end than top end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Rules and regulations. Lulu, how can they fine him? Dan Rawlings, more money than the purse. He's paying more in fines. They're just, I guess they're trying to make an example. It's idiotic. It's idiotic what they're doing. And
Larry, you skipped the question about George Napolitano. What'd it say?
I don't know.
I just saw George's name and then it was gone.
Okay, well, okay, it has to be after this. Let's see. George Napolitano. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Mike, Larry, what do you think of George Napolitano Jr. as a driver? Well, I can tell you. I raced with his grandfather. I raced with his father. And I don't think I ever raced with George. And he's up in Pocono. And I think when I left the business, I don't even know if he was driving then. I remember, but I tell you, his grandfather was big like Joe. It's crazy. That whole family was nuts. Tough.
Yeah, down in Pompano, they were psycho.
All the time. Yeah, they didn't take no bullshit from no. I'm talking about the grandfather and his father.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I ever met George. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember. But I raced with his father, and his grandfather was the worst. His grandfather, don't fuck with him. He was a bad guy. So I don't know. I have no comment about George. They say he's really good.
George is excellent. Excellent driver.
I don't know. I'm trying to get on. I'm trying to get on Kurt Watson, because what they did to that poor kid, he invented the best race bikes in the world, and the best race bike right now, the cheater, I think. And in 1990, I think it was 1994, he said that the cheetah bike won every race in the history of racing, every major race with every driver.
Yep. And
I think it was Team T-Trick that, in fact, he gave me pictures. I have a bunch of pictures and a bunch of stuff that I'm going to wait until he comes on. One day we'll just do a whole segment on that and how the racing commission fucked him too. Because when everybody was winning with the cheetah bike, the racing commission said, well, if it's not fair to the other people, so you got to build 30 bikes. So in 1 month, he built 30 bikes. And when he built the 30 bikes, then they bought the bike.
They bought them. That's why they're rotten people, man. They're just rotten.
Okay, let's see. Let's go. Where the hell were we now? What's Freddie have to say? In the one race, he hit the horse 123 hits, 123 hits, 123 hits, not consecutive, they stated. In one race, he hit the horses. In one race, he hit the horse 1, 2, 3 hit, 1, 2, 3 hit. Oh, I see. He hit him 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, not consecutives. So he hit 3, 6, 9 times, but not consecutive. Because that's what I saw. Just like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And they said he hit it not in. They say he did it consecutive, 9 times consecutive, and he hit it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like that. 1, 2, 3. And it wasn't this kind of stuff. It was this. It was this bullshit.
That ain't considered a whipping.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, I can't think of a professional that takes more dedication and sacrifice than that of a horse trainer. Whenever I visit the barn, I'm so grateful to see that someone is willing to do this 65 days a year. You're 1,000% right, Steve. Whether it's standardbreds or thoroughbreds, there's somebody always there taking care of the horses. I remember once there was a snowstorm in Green Mountain Park in Pinal, Vermont. We were staying in a motel, and I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just looked out the window, and it was all, I couldn't even see it. The snow was higher than the window, and yet, somehow you have to get to the barn. And there were many times. There was a time in Yonkers Raceway when I think I was barred at the time. but Randy Perry was staying at the hotel because of the snowstorm. And in the morning, we got up and we went to Yonkers Raceway. We were staying at the Trade Winds, which is right down the hill from the Yonkers. And we fed every horse on the grounds, And that's what it is. When you have a horse, you get there. You find a way to get there. And by the time 9, 10 o'clock come, and we fed them and then left the pail turned upside down so they would know that they were fed.
No. Yep.
And but that's what you do. And the racing commission, they just want to fuck with you. Let's see. What's this say? Freddie Larry, I agree with you 100%. And the U.S. harness racing alumni will stand with you on the Rawlings issue. 100% agreed. Okay. Now, Dan Rawlings, if you're listening or if anybody can get word to him, Larry Rolla will come to testify as a professional guy who drove for 65 years, and so will Freddie Hudson and everybody pertaining to his show. So you got a lot of support here because they're 100% wrong, and they're 100% wrong. And if the rule is what I read, none of that happened, and the rule should be changed anyway because it's fucking bullshit.
He should get his money back immediately.
Get his money. He should sue them. You see,
first, get your money back.
Years ago, not today, you could win. You could win suing the racing commission. Years ago, when I was in trouble, you couldn't win. You
can't win because if you appealed, you went back to the same people.
Yeah, that accused you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Steve, I can't think of a professional that we said this. Okay, Fred Hudson. HISA has nothing to do with this, right?
Whose rule is it? New York State?
Yeah, it's in harness racing. HISA is only with the thoroughbreds.
No, I said whose rule is it? New York State?
Yeah.
Harness?
Yeah.
And that's for all the New York tracks?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know.
Okay, let's see. PM, guys, it all boils down to these people in charge that don't know anything about horses or the horseman's life. You're 1,000% right. 1,000% right. Okay, Francis, we're rooting for you, champ. Well, thank you, Francis. A pretty picture, boy. A picture. There's a girl I used to go. Her name was Lillian Carroll. She was Louis Prima's first singer. And after she left Louis Prima, she went with a guy called Joe Barone. And they was two singers. They were really good. They played up at the Concord.
Joe Barone from the Bronx?
I guess so. He was a singer. I guess he was from the Bronx. He was a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, everybody was a singer, but he was good. And he had Lillian Carroll with him, and they played the Concord during the summer. Okay, let's see. And blankets. What's this say here? When Frank Pasco Jr. won 15 races in a row as a trainer, where were the watchdogs? What's the punishment for crooks like Baffert? Well, I can't answer that, and Eddie shouldn't answer that, and I don't think Joe can answer that. So, I said enough about that stuff. I said enough. For this new thing that I put together, that's going to be really benefit the horse. It's going to be a life-saving thing for the horse. I did a tremendous amount of research for the last 20 years, and that's how I have it all here. I have piles of it. I have it all over the place, and now I'm trying to dig as deep as I can into we'll just take Baffert, for instance. Baffert had 75 horses die of heart attacks. Now, it's very possible that the thing I'm working on could have saved a lot of that
Some
70.
of them.
So, and because naturally he swears he didn't give him nothing, and who knows? And I don't think they found a drug that would make a heart explode like that. But what I'm talking about will. So now I want to see, and what I'm trying to do, what my aim is for the benefit of the horse, and everybody talks about.
You're talking too much. You're gonna
Yeah.
go right into it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's right. Eddie knows because Eddie was with me at the meeting, right? So Eddie's the only one that knows, right? Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I forgot Eddie knows. Joe don't know. Do you
Yes,
know?
I do. Of
Oh,
course
you
I
do?
know.
Okay.
I knew 6 months ago.
Oh, the only one I didn't tell was Anthony. Anthony called me up. Anthony, who's always on the show here, he called me up and he says, "Larry, how much money do you need?" And I says, "I'm okay with the money because it might be a lot of money because if this becomes mandatory, it's going to be a major
You
thing."
got to produce rapidly.
Yeah, so I got to see. But right now, I'm, uh, I'm I'm just putting it all together because when I'm going to be like Clarence Darrow. You know who Clarence Darrow was? He was the best attorney ever. He was like William Buck. He was the best attorney. Never lost the case.
It was like, what's his name?
Lee Bailey.
Flea Bailey.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, me and Eddie got those guys for our 10% contract part. Right, Eddie?
Who, FB Bailey?
No, the other guy, that big lawyer. For our contract with Larry's invention. We get 10%. You know that.
Yeah, we got 10%.
Yeah, the juice.
Okay. Hi, fellas. Here in Kentucky, they do cancel races once in a while during the summer at Ellis Park when heat index is over 110. Well, I didn't know that, but 110 is when heat index. But he means by the heat index is when the temperature and the humidity combined, numbers combined, is over. But it's almost over 100. They got to be higher than 110 because 110. I mean, even if it was 50 degrees and humidity was 50, or even if humidity was 90 degrees, it has to be higher than 110. But if that's what you say, I believe you. Okay, Larry, this is the craziest question. Is it possible to build a partially indoor racetrack that would be climate control? You would solve every problem. I know it would cause crazy. I'm going to tell you something. When Joe Colombo, the mob guy, he had a son called Joe Colombo Jr. He had a farm upstate where I think his brother Chris lives now. I was going to buy that farm, and I was going to make a domed racetrack, a domed training center. And it was going to be for standardbreds and thoroughbreds. And I had the whole thing. And then it just became too much money. And I learned a couple of things, but you're in that process that if you have a dome, grass don't grow in a dome. So you would almost have to eliminate turf racing for thoroughbreds, unless you can open the dome up, and I guess they could. They could, but it becomes a major task. But could they do it? Absolutely, they could do it. It's just like the football.
Yeah, just get an old football field.
Yeah, make it dome, and when the weather is good, just open the dome, and when the weather is bad, just close it. You'll never have a frozen racetrack. You'll never have a problem. But it's very, 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 very expensive. But that's what I was going to do. But then it just become too expensive. It was too crazy. Okay, Gary D. Funny cars go 325 miles an hour in a quarter of a mile. Larry is under 4 seconds. Wow. Yeah, that's the funny cars. Yeah. Imagine that. What did I say? 130 miles an hour in 7 seconds. 325 miles an hour on foot. Wow. Well, they certainly weren't doing that when I was in the game, and that was in 1955 and 56. So, but okay, Larry, after you had outcome of a race and you are in the paddock with a ton of money, when the owner come in all dejected because his horse finished up the track, what did you say to him? Well, we have to go into the dark side of my life now. When you're just talking about me, whenever an owner came into the, first of all, when I started this, the horses I had were my own. I started out with 4 horses that carried me all the way up until freehold. They were my own. I had one partner later on that was Don Catarano. Everybody in the business knew that me and him were partners. And Don bought a bunch of horses. Whatever I did, whether it was leave myself out or leave myself in, Don was the one that knew everything. So whenever I had later on, after 1980, after 1978, I become strictly legit. That's when I had all the other owners, and I never fooled around, never did nothing. Strictly legit. But from the time 1970 to 78 is when I did all them shenanigans. Uh, they were my horses or partners with Don Catarano, and maybe 1 or 2 other partners that I was friendly with. That whatever I did, they knew. And they knew how to bet, not to bet too much, just to keep it so we wouldn't cause any riots or anything. And we never did. Never got caught, never caused a riot, never caused nothing. So I never, and I never like double banged an owner. That I always told the truth. And when I had new owners that I didn't know, I already became legit at 78. With the help of Stanley Danson and Susky, and was 100% after that. But during my bad years, it was just me, Don Catarano, and maybe another friend of his. I forget his name. That and whatever I did, they knew. If I was going to win, they knew. If I was going to lose, they knew, and they knew the numbers, whatever we bet on. So they knew. So I didn't never double bang anybody. Okay. Fred Hudson, no, he hit him one time, and then counts 1, 2, 3, and then so he hit him one time, then 1, 2, 3, hit him another time, then okay. Either way, either way, the kid got
A raw deal.
guys on your side, Dan. Got a lot of guys on your side. Okay, PM, that would be incredible, but it would probably run well over $1 billion to do. Yeah, it'd be very, very expensive, but you're right. It would solve a lot of the problems. You wouldn't have to worry about bad weather. You wouldn't have to worry about cancel races. You wouldn't have to worry about nothing. The track would always be the same. It would never have to be scraped.
No mud, imagine.
No mud, no winter. No, you'd never have to worry about nothing.
Man, that would have been a dream.
Yeah, okay. Well, guys, it's been 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. Eddie, you got to go to sleep. I'm all done. I got rid of my rant. And just so you know, Dan Rawlings, if you need help,
We're rooting for you, man.
You got it.
You got a
Larry,
bad steer.
Larry, I just pulled up this thing here. I asked, does heat stroke cause heart attacks? Yes,
Eddie,
what?
You're talking.
What?
He's talking too much, he's saying, but go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I'm just reading what it says about heat stroke.
Go ahead, tell us.
Heat stroke can lead to serious heart issues in horses, including potential fatal heart attacks and cardiac arrest, as extreme heat stress disrupt the law system. While the most common signs of heat stroke include collapse, seizures, and death, severe hypothermia can cause heart failure by damaging protein and enzymes essential for normal bodily functions.
Very good.
I was trying to send it to you, but I couldn't get it to go.
I already have it, Eddie.
All right. But I got to go to bed.
Well, we're going to end the show now. Let me just read these last two. But all the money that's in the sport, someone can sure afford an indoor track.
Yeah. They don't even want to put a swimming pool at Belmont. Yeah.
And we're going to end it with Francis. Great show. Thanks, gentlemen. Thank you all.
Francis.
Thank you, Francis.
And we'll see you. We'll see. When am I going to do it again? Not Thursday. No show Thursday. Friday.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the first girl on the podcast Friday. Okay. That's it. Go to bed, Eddie.
Very good. All right, everybody. Good night. Larry, good night.
Good night, Joe. Okay. Let me end this. And thank you guys for showing up, listening to our nonsense. And once again, Dan, if you need help, just call me. We can get a couple of horsemen to come up there too, to help you out in the lawsuit in the case. And then something has to be done with some of these rules that these guys are writing. The first thing you should do is that I think you should do. This is a preliminary thing. Find out who writes the rules and get their background and see if any of them were ever in the horse business. That's the first thing that you should do. And I think I already know the answer. So anyway, thank you for showing up. And we will end it with, as soon as I find a way how to close this thing up. Okay, good night, folks. I'll see you. See you Friday.